Good evening, welcome to Trending at 10 p.m. I'm Vishnu Shom. If you're a big presence on Twitter with lakhs of followers, you may be in for a surprise. Your follower count may have drastically come down. If it hasn't already, it will soon. This is after Twitter decided to come down heavily on Twitter bots, fake accounts of people who may have been bought to lend their support. Twitter says the cleanup is to get rid of redundant or abusing accounts. The move comes days after the Facebook-run WhatsApp decided to include a message forwarded symbol to tell people that they've received a mass message. Mass messages in India have been known to kill. The crazy lynchings of people thought to be child lifters on the basis of false messages is a prime example of this. On Trending tonight, has enough been done by WhatsApp to deal with fake news? Has enough been done by Twitter to end Twitter trolls and Twitter bots? Now WhatsApp has started rolling out a feature that will indicate to users which messages they receive were forwarded by a sender, whether it was a sender or it was a mass forward. Now it's been seen by Android beta users last month. The new WhatsApp feature essentially adds a forwarded label to all the forwarded WhatsApp messages you receive to help you determine if your contacts have written the message they have sent it or if it was originally created by someone else. The new WhatsApp feature, which is now rolling out for both Android and iOS users around the globe, comes as another move by Facebook that owns WhatsApp to limit the circulation of spam and fake news on its platform that has over 1.5 billion monthly active users worldwide, more than 200 million active users in India. Now the app was also restricted the dissemination of false messages. That's a goal now through send messages. That's permissions group for a feature for permissions group that allow group administrators to limit participants from sending messages. So those are a couple of the main points which have been done. Also, last week a suspicious link detection feature was also spotted on WhatsApp that's designed to highlight the presence of a suspicious link in a message. Well, joining us now to look at this, whether any of this can actually make a difference, Karnika Seth, the Supreme Court lawyer, also a cyber and IP expert. Thanks, Karnika, for being with us. Shivam Vich, contributing editor to The Print, with me in the studio. Sandeep Singh, author and founder of Swastik, and Govindraj Ethiraj, the founder of India Spend and Boom, somebody who spends a great deal of his time busting fake news. Mr. Ethiraj, let me come to you first. WhatsApp forwards have been killing people in our country. The best example, the saddest example, these crazy rumors of child lifters. Does a simple logo on WhatsApp that indicates a forwarded message in your mind do anything to prevent fake news that kills?
Right. So I think it's a slightly more complex answer. If we take a step back, the social media platform phenomenon is barely a decade old. So a lot of all of this has caught us by surprise. It's caught users by surprise. It's caught the technology companies themselves by surprise. It's caught law enforcement officials by surprise, and it's caught governments by surprise. No one knew how this could pan out and how messages, for instance, sent on WhatsApp would actually trigger mob violence and vigilante justice, as we've seen in India. So the larger objective, therefore, is to say how can we bring in more transparency on these platforms, and how can we bring in more transparency in a way that people know and then recognize, hopefully if they're educated enough, whether those messages are dangerous, real or false. So now if you look at the forwarded message, obviously in the context of what I've told you, it's a step at trying something that has not been tried before. Will it solve the problem? I'm still not sure. But what I would expect and hope is that platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, all of them keep trying measures till they find out or figure out, or all of us figure out, what really works in terms of making the platforms transparent and the users more educated and aware. Now there is
I think that's an important point.
Please remember, a forwarded message, a forwarded tag can work both ways.
And I wanted to ask Shivam about that. A lot of this has to do with digital literacy. Now, you know, this at one level is a pretty classist remark, digital literacy, because everybody has a right to technology. And the assumption of anybody that, you know, you should only communicate on WhatsApp in a particular way and that there is a certain protocol is extremely classist. But that said, should there not be some sort of mechanism to get people to know that spreading online hate, it's illegal, it's unacceptable?
Well, you know, firstly, I disagree with Govinda Ethiraj that you know, it's all new and therefore we don't know. The first case of lynching because of child lifting rumors was in Jharkhand in April last year.
Yes.
7 people died, and after 7 people die, neither WhatsApp nor the government of India nor the government of Jharkhand wake up to this problem. This is, you know, the extremity of death. But apart from this, there have been a number of incidents over the last couple of years of WhatsApp causing all kinds of tensions, problems, rumors, you know, fear of violence, all kinds of, there have been all kinds of other rumors, right, not just violence. In the same Jharkhand case, if you look up news reports from back then, there are people saying the trouble is that these were first time internet users who believed what they got on WhatsApp to be the truth.
Yes.
And that's where your question of digital literacy comes in, that you know, it is not classes at all, it is a fact. It's a matter of fact that, you know, when you and I first discovered the internet back in 1995 or 99 or whatever, we didn't know whether we can trust Wikipedia or not, or how to use these tools, right?
Right.
There were you know, there were people like us quoting Wikipedia as though it's the truth, and we later learned that it's a mass collaborative thing, right? So everybody needs to learn.
For those who are being newly initiated onto social media like WhatsApp,
I think WhatsApp has a responsibility.
That's what you're saying.
WhatsApp has a responsibility.
Yes.
India is their largest market, 200 million users,
unbelievable,
and they have not been doing anything.
Right.
They've just about woken up with their forwarding label and the full page.
It will be a forwarded logo.
At one level, it's laughable. After 31 deaths, they could come up with a forwarded logo.
At one level, it is laughable. At one level, it's laughable. In fact, Karnika, I wanted to ask you about that. WhatsApp prides itself on encryption. In other words, their people are not supposed to see what anybody is forwarding to one another. How does WhatsApp intend to cut down on hate if they cannot have access to the content of the messages?
I think it's very essential for any social media platform to have some sort of control over their platform and its use. Particularly when we see a rise of communal riots or situations which go beyond the control of even state authorities without realizing a particular message which is harmful to the public interest or can create communal tensions, like the mob lynching attacks, you know, for child lifters. I mean, you can see the clear example. There have been a lot of misuse of such portals, and therefore it's very important to create a technical tool to pre-filter such content, particularly in regards to child porn. If you would have seen, there have been very clear directions from the Supreme Court to block such content online. And DNA photo sharing mechanism, the DNA hash value mechanism has been very useful in foreign countries, UK, US. We've seen that happening, and this tool, which is launched by Microsoft, can help filter such content. I think there could be a vocabulary, or some sort of technical softwares to, even look at what kind of messages are circulating, to find out the originator, to find out what is the chain of such movement of, these messages. And if there are suspicious links, people are being duped. I know the cases, and we get queries every day. People have been duped of lots of monies. They've been asked to click on a link. They would go and click on that link, and that will lead to debits of their accounts, because certain financial information gets compromised.
That's
so
the
these
larger
are real
issue.
life
What I'm trying
situations.
to do,
if we're looking at cybercrime,
is focus on the hate aspect of this and whether anything can be done to control that. Sandeep Singh, come in on this debate. Where do you stand? I think the larger issue over here is, where have WhatsApp messages actually come from? And that is the problem. Now, political parties across this country, several political parties, look at the Karnataka election, there were thousands of WhatsApp groups which were formed. Many of them were spreading hate. These were WhatsApp groups which were endorsed by parties. Various IT cells of various parties set up these groups. They were spewing hate. So the responsibility also has to come to our political class. But our political class, certainly the BJP, doesn't seem to accept that they have a role in cleaning this up. They just seem to want to allow platforms that directly or indirectly spread hate.
Well, I'm wondering why you point out BJP specifically.
I'm happy to point out Congress as well. And there have been several examples. Just yesterday, I mean, Alt News has done stories on how even in the Karnataka elections, there have been Congress groups which have spread wrong messages. That being said, I think a great deal of the trolls that exist today, a large number, perhaps the majority, are affiliated in one way, shape or form with the BJP. The Prime Minister, several ministers associate themselves with some of the worst ones. That's why I'm asking you about the BJP.
Okay, so I can give you example of all political parties where their leaders are following abusive trolls, but I won't get into that.
Okay.
The audience knows it. The important part is that yes, this hate mongering needs to stop through social media. I guess there should be stringent laws. If it leads to killing of somebody, then the guy should be hanged. Matlab, I won't hesitate to say that
but
also.
Stringent laws exist, no? Because there was hate.
Sorry?
Hate has always existed in this country. Communal rights have always
Correct.
existed.
So,
now
correct.
you have
So
a different way of spreading it. So the laws exist.
Yeah.
The laws against violence exist.
So
this is violence. So tell us something new, sir. Something which can be done.
Law do exist.
Which deals with where a lot of these messages are coming from.
There are clear laws to indicate that. There are clear laws to prohibit.
So we need to identify the people and take them to the court and to the logical conclusion. And we cannot blame the social media alone, because we have seen a lot of people getting united through WhatsApp. The kids lost, the elderly lost, or the Twitter has been of help to people. So it's up to at the end of the day, it's how the individual is using it. And having said that, I'll also like to say that this is the new media as compared to television or print. It is evolving. It's evolving at a faster rate than the traditional media. But today also we have seen TV being used to spread hate, like Peace TV. So all the media can be used for good work or the bad work.
I think there's a bit of a difference. I think that the spread of messages which you receive on your cell phone, on your smartphone, is a bit different from contentious content on television. I'm not getting into the content. I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying that it's a different. Yeah,
Just a simple question. 31 people have died. They've been lynching after lynching after lynching, and no, it's not all communal. A lot of out of these 31, 29 were child lifting rovers, 2 were robbery. No communal angle, right? How difficult was it for the Prime Minister himself alone, with his massive reach throughout the country, through various mediums of communication, to just say, do not believe in these rumors? What is
so that is
the Ministry of Home Affairs? Sorry, let me speak. Ministry of Home Affairs, it took them 31 days to issue an obligatory advisory to state governments. What that shows you, Vishnu, is that nobody cares. What is outrageous here is that nobody cares.
They don't care.
Why do we not care?
No, but
because poor people are dying.
The reason they don't care is because they use it.
Can I come in here?
They use it to segregate communities. They use it to spread hate. It fulfills a larger goal. I mean, it's
maybe, but it's also that these are poor people dying. We don't really care. If we were personally being affected, we would all have been caring a lot more.
Sandeep Singh, come in. I'll go to my other panelists. Govindraj is waiting. One second.
Sandeep Singh,
Govindraj, half a second. I know you want to come in. Just give me half a second. Sandeep, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. The only problem that I find is that, for everything we want Prime Minister to speak. As a citizen of this country, not everything, or rest of the officials,
most respectfully, sir, 31 lynchings. This is not any issue, sir.
It's not that I'm this. Any issue, if there's a pothole in Bombay, Prime Minister
sir, this is not a pothole in Bombay, and yes, the Prime Minister should be speaking about potholes in Bombay.
5 people died in a terror attack in Afghanistan, the Prime Minister tweets.
People died due to potholes also. We have already seen 2 deaths. The problem is that as a citizen, we don't want to own up any ownership or responsibility.
Mislabeled according to their religion.
Everything we want to politicize. Our problem lies there. We are not
Why
looking for
won't the Prime
solutions.
Minister speak, sir? Wouldn't you want the Prime Minister to speak about this? Mr. Singh, wouldn't you want the Prime Minister to speak?
I like to see as a citizen what is my responsibility and what should I do.
Govindraj, okay, one second.
They sound like the Manmohan government where we kept wondering, do we have a Prime Minister?
Okay, one second. Govindraj, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Govindraj. Yes.
I mean, it's, if you start politicizing it, I think the discussion goes nowhere. So, there is a communal angle and there is a non-communal. Most of these deaths, I think as Shivam was pointing out, are non-communal. You have to remember one or two very, very important things. you know, many of these incidents are very hyper-local, right? So there was an incident in Assam where two young boys were killed. Messages were exchanged between barely 40-50 people in 2 villages or 3 villages who were alongside each other. There's no way for any technology or any system to know that there is hate-filled messages or messages which are maybe prompting some sort of violence being shared between such small groups of people. Number one. Number two, even if it was not WhatsApp, you throw WhatsApp out, throw Facebook out, throw YouTube out, something else will take its place. You've got to attack the fundamental problem that people are digitally illiterate or are able to believe things which they see on a mobile phone or a smartphone. The second and most important, the propensity to take law into their own hands. Even if someone is suspected to be a child kidnapper, they should be handed over to the police. Why are people taking the law into their own hands? And that's the question you should be asking, and not, you know, else we are going round and round trying to blame everyone else but the people who should be. And finally,
as we are having
Andhra, Telangana,
this discussion,
Rajasthan, local police have been taking efforts, have taken efforts, albeit a little late, to do something about it.
We haven't spoken at all about the other part of things.
To take actions.
Govindraj, we are running out of time. Let's talk about the other part of this. Let's talk about trolls. I'm being trolled right now. I thought I would be trolled, and I don't engage very much, but I am being trolled right now. The Lutyens Delhi part has come in. Trolls ke upar program kare. I haven't trolled anyone, you know. I mean, this can go on and on. I don't receive very hateful messages. A lot of my colleagues do receive hateful messages. Karnika, that big Twitter cleanup, you know, bots and all. Do you believe these people, or I don't know, if they're fake accounts, whatever it is, this will all disappear? Has Twitter done enough?
Correct. Yeah. Well, I think that it's only a step in the beginning, because lots needs to be done. Simply by, you know, saying that, you know, Twitter would be cleaning up its space may not be enough, but then yes, it's a step in the right direction, because there are a lot of syndicated mobs. You know, there are a lot of syndicated groups, and some even political or otherwise motivated, you know, who would use this medium to give misleading figures of followers, and that's where public can, you know, get very easily misled, and therefore it's very important to have this cleanup. So I'm happy that at least an initiation has happened, but then once somebody reports abuse, within 36 hours they ought to take legal action in that.
Okay, Karnika, one second.
They ought to block the content. They ought to block that particular account.
I get death threats on Twitter, and I report them to Twitter. Yes. There are times when Twitter says this does not violate our terms of service. I don't understand. I mean, this bots and all is fine, but Twitter...
Exactly, that is
Twitter
the
has
problem.
improved somewhat, but even today, if the definition of free speech in Twitter includes incitement of violence, rape threats, and Twitter does very little. I think if you look at it, Vishnu, it's very interesting that in such discussions, Facebook is mentioned the least.
Yes,
because Facebook is the least bad medium, because Facebook gets a lot of things wrong. They've been in the news lately for data protection issues, etc. But Facebook early on took on this issue of trolling, abuse, privacy. They gave users enough tools. You don't get trolled on Facebook, do you? You get trolled on Twitter only, right? You get hate on WhatsApp, right? You're not getting hate from random people on Facebook. So that's where I disagree with Govindraj, that it doesn't matter about whether it's Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp. The medium is the message.
All right. The medium is the message. It depends really on the format of the medium as well. Govindraj, let me ask you about...
How many times do we actually come to know who's the originator?
That some mediums offer anonymity
do we ever get those details?
by nature, and some mediums don't.
How do we deal with this? Because one method, for example, in Jammu and Kashmir, the district magistrate requires WhatsApp group administrators to register with the police. This seems almost bizarre, because how does the police actually enforce this? It would seem impossible.
Yes.
But are we in this desperate a situation?
Internet has no borders, no jurisdiction. Yes, I completely agree. Internet has no borders. It's very difficult to determine jurisdiction, particularly because there's service providers like Facebook or other, you know, service providers on social media offer services and target customers all across the globe. So it's very difficult to say the jurisdiction lies in one place. Yes, when a crime takes place, a crime is usually investigated and reported at the place where the victim is. or from where a message is being spread, you know, the origination of the message. So that's
Okay.
how we determine jurisdiction in criminal matters.
Mr. Singh,
When
Mr.
it comes
Singh,
to civil matters, especially in defamation or somebody who's being victimized by trolling, for example, you would really sue the person, the place where the victim resides. So he's
Okay.
affected there.
Sandeep,
The effect of the damage is there. And
San-
that's how he gets the right
ma'am,
to
I'm
sue.
running out of time. I just want to quickly
Yeah.
go back to
Vishnu, the
Sandeep
question
Singh.
that you were
know, we
asking
have
at the
this one
beginning of the
solution in
show.
this country, Mr. Singh. Whenever there is a possibility of violence and the like, you know, people, the government, and this happens in Kashmir all the time, rightfully just shuts down the internet, right? Is this the way where in 2018 we deal with hate? In Kashmir, the context of hate is different. There are messages against the government. There are messages from terrorists. You know, young children are exposed. You know, so it's a different context. What do for law and order, mass law and order? They shut down the internet. You know, I mean, is this the way forward? Or should we just shut down WhatsApp? If this is the medium which is creating such problems, let us say we don't need those 200 million
bizarre.
people in
It
India to
cannot
do this. A
happen.
few years back, we were happy SMSing. If you had to pay to spread hate messages, a lot of people would get poor. So why don't we shut down
as I
WhatsApp?
mentioned-
So is this a solution?
No, as I mentioned earlier, you know, we have seen lot of people getting united just
cannot-
because
we
of
cannot
WhatsApp,
do that.
the elderly
In
and the
fact,
kids getting misplaced or lost. So it's not the medium to be blamed, it's how good you use it. As of now,
No, but sir,
if
people
that
are
is
not
the
good,
option,
sir. They're
when
bad
there is a
people out
riot-like
there.
situation,
That's
so
just the
you'll have
problem.
to deal with it.
So
You know,
you
as
and
I
I,
said,
you
in
and I may
no
not
field-
abuse. You and I may not threaten. You and I may not threaten
in no
to kill.
field-
We may not be
See, in no field you'll
racist,
find all good
sexist,
people.
homophobic in our messages, but a lot of people do it and they want to do
I
it.
know
We
there
can't
are certain
control their.
objectionable
We cannot
videos which
control
can be
this,
blocked,
even
for
if it is
instance, from
hateful
YouTube,
and
but
it is
the entire
illegal.
YouTube
Vishnu,
cannot be
I
shut
think
down.
Vishnu, I think we are framing the issue. Vishnu, the framing of the question is, I think the framing is completely wrong. I mean, we are not in 1999 before WhatsApp came or Facebook came or YouTube came or the iPhone came. I mean, this is 2018. Social media is upon us, technology is upon us, connectivity is upon us. We've got to live with it. Now, like I said, you shut down one messaging platform, another messaging platform.
No, I
will
agree
take
with
over,
you.
and
I
you have
agree
to
with you.
understand
I realize
what are the
that
fundamental
it's
issues at
impractical
stake.
to say shut it down
That's
because that
something
goes
which I
against
don't
everything we
think,
all stand
should
for.
be a solution
But
here.
sometimes, given the hate, given the fact that people are losing their lives, given the fact that WhatsApp can't do anything about it, you know, forward tick doesn't really achieve very much. Sadly, in a situation like this, what is the solution? Do we really need to get desperate in taking these crazy measures? Who knows? I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. We will return to this topic, I'm sure, in the future. Till then, goodbye.